The winter morning was bitterly cold, the kind of morning where even the wind felt like it carried blades. In a small forgotten village on the edge of the city, little Amina, just 7 years old, shivered in her torn dress. Her frail body was weak from hunger, and her large innocent eyes searched for kindness in a world that seemed to have abandoned her. That morning, her stomach growled so loud that it almost hurt. She hadn't eaten properly for days. Her father had died a year ago, and her mother, too ill to work, barely had the strength to rise from her mat. Amina knew that if she didn't find food, her mother might not survive the night. Driven by desperation, she did something that changed her life forever. She crept into her neighbor's courtyard, an old, grumpy man named Hassan, known for his sharp tongue and harsher heart. In his kitchen sat a small pot of warm milk, steaming gently on the stove. Amina's trembling hand reached out, and she scooped a single spoonful into her mouth. That tiny taste gave her hope, like sunshine in the middle of a storm. But before she could leave, Hassan caught her. His voice thundered through the house. "Thief! You wretched child! How dare you steal from me?" He grabbed her by the arm and dragged her into the street. The villagers gathered, watching the scene unfold. No one spoke for her. No one defended her. She was just a little girl, accused of stealing a spoon of milk. Hassan spat words filled with venom. "Out! You and your cursed family don't belong here. Thieves don't deserve kindness." He shoved her onto the dirt road, and Amina stumbled, her small knees scraping against the gravel. For a moment, silence hung in the air. Then whispers filled the crowd. Some pitied her, others agreed with Hassan, but no one offered a hand. Amina's face burned with shame as tears streamed down her cheeks. All she had wanted was to save her sick mother. But in the eyes of the world, she was nothing more than a thief. And then out of nowhere, a voice broke through the tension. Calm, deep, and commanding. "Is this how you treat a hungry child?" All heads turned to see a man stepping out of a sleek black car. His suit was finely tailored, his presence powerful. He was Mr. Rahman, a millionaire businessman known in the city but rarely seen in the village. His eyes, however, were not cold like his wealth might suggest. They were filled with compassion, and as he looked at Amina trembling on the ground, something in his heart shifted. He walked toward her, helping her to her feet with gentle hands. "What did she take?" he asked the crowd. Hassan barked, "A spoon of milk. A thief is a thief, no matter the amount." Mr. Rahman's gaze hardened. "A spoon of milk? And for this, you humiliate a child? Have you forgotten humanity?" His words silenced the crowd. He then pulled out his wallet, placed a thick bundle of notes into Hassan's hand, and said firmly, "This is for your precious milk. Consider your debt paid 1,000 times over." Hassan's face turned pale, but Mr. Rahman didn't wait for his response. He turned back to Amina, knelt down, and said softly, "Come with me, child." That moment changed everything. From that day, Amina's journey was no longer one of hunger and rejection, but of trials, growth, and hope. Mr. Rahman took her to the city, where she saw lights brighter than she had ever imagined. But life was not immediately easy. She struggled with fear of being unwanted, fear of being called a thief again, fear of trusting kindness. At night, she would wake up crying, whispering her mother's name. Mr. Rahman did not scold her for her fears. Instead, he became the father figure she had lost. He enrolled her in school, made sure her mother received treatment, and gave them a safe home. Still, challenges arose. Other children mocked her for her poor background. Teachers doubted her abilities. Even her own mind sometimes told her she was unworthy. But Amina, with resilience burning quietly in her heart, refused to give up. She studied harder than anyone else. Years passed. She grew from the timid girl who once stole a spoon of milk into a confident young woman. She excelled in her studies, and her dream was not to chase wealth, but to help children who suffered the way she once did. When she won a scholarship to study medicine, the entire community that once turned its back on her gathered in awe. Even Hassan, old and frail now, stood at the back, his eyes filled with shame. At her farewell, Amina gave a speech. Her voice trembled with emotion as she said, "I was once thrown out for stealing a spoon of milk. That day, I thought my life was over. But one man's kindness taught me that no child deserves to be punished for hunger. Today, I stand here not because of my own strength, but because someone chose compassion over judgment. I promise to spend my life giving that same compassion to others." The audience wept. Even Mr. Rahman, a man who had built empires with his hands, had tears rolling down his cheeks. Her story reminds us all, one small act of kindness can change the course of a life. Viewers, if this story touched your heart, I want to hear your thoughts in the comments. What would you have done if you saw that little girl in the street? Do you believe kindness can rewrite destiny? Share your feelings below, I read every comment. And before you go, remember to subscribe to my channel. Be kind always. Your support helps us continue sharing stories that inspire, heal, and remind the world that even in its darkest moments, compassion can be the brightest light. Because at the end of the day, kindness doesn't cost anything, but its value is beyond measure.